The sentencing brought us something different. It brought us face to face with a question we rarely get to answer in true crime. What happens when the accused just finally is there, out in front of us? No more hiding behind legal strategy.
If you were really smart, do you think you'd be here right now? What's it like needing this much attention just to feel real? You're terrified of being ordinary, aren't you? Do you feel anything at all? Or are you exactly what you always feared? Nothing. If you're so powerful, then why are you still hiding, defendant? You see, I'm here today as me. But who are you? Let's try to take off your mask and see.
Or procedural stall tactics, or stargazing. And right there with us, watching every twitch of Bryan Kohberger's face.
You didn't win. You just exposed yourself as the coward you are. You're a delusional, pathetic, hypochondriac loser.
No one cares enough about Bryan. No one cares enough about Bryan Kohberger to set him up.
But hardly memorable.
He was kind of awkward, but I feel like you can't just write someone off as being crazy just because they're a little awkward, you know?
You wanted so badly to be different, to be special, to be better, to be deep, to be mysterious.
The Kohberger? He's not charismatic. He's not seductive. He's not even remotely likable.
The rage that he had to have had or something, whatever was fueling him.
Lurking in the shadows made you feel powerful because no one ever paid you any attention in the light.
Kohberger's not even likable to anyone by anyone, and so he can't even rely on his personality to get by, to at least make one ally. And so
but besides that, he mainly just stood to the side and was really observant. And then
when he would grade your papers, he would be grading you on what he ended up calling like a higher standard, but it really felt like to us was he was grading us like he would have graded himself as a PhD student.
Constantly scolding, turning your nose up to grammar mistakes, nitpicking and criticizing others.
And so much so that based on that one small interaction, he knew exactly who I was maybe a month or so later when I saw him on that hike.
And he looked very familiar, but I couldn't put a point on it. And he lost so much weight. When I knew him, he was a pudgy guy. He was really friendly.
And he had to undergo tummy tuck surgery because of the excess skin following his drastic weight loss. I mean, being a teenager, I think is already hard enough, going through puberty and all of that, but imagine going through such a drastic physical change.
I also interviewed a few friends that described who Bryan was in his younger years. And one of the fellow students says, he really wasn't a violent person. But it was after he started losing weight and he started boxing that his demeanor changes.
It was after that weight loss that a lot of people noticed a huge switch in him.
Now listen to this. In 2011, sophomore year, he enrolled in a law enforcement vocational program at Monroe Career and Technical Institute, MCTI. He was a leader in his class. He took the class extremely seriously, said former administrator Tanya Carmela Beers. That's a picture of him.
Who thought you were so much smarter than everybody else.
He was one of 4 applicants interviewed for the position in April of 2022 with an online interview conducted by Chief Jenkins. He wanted to assist rural law enforcement agencies with how to better collect and analyze technological data in public safety operations. He did not get the position. So just before he starts at WSU, he's applying in Washington at the Pullman Police Department for this internship. So it's kind of like a redo for that vocational program he got kicked out of as a teen. Maybe now he's like, okay, now I'm gonna fix that, I'm gonna do this, and he was so excited about it. But he didn't get it, and allegedly, it's rumored that 2 females were selected instead. So yeah, I feel like that is going to start adding to the motive.
You found yourself thinking you were better than everyone else, and you thought you could figure out the human psyche and see through it, all while tweaked out on heroin.
He doesn't know these people. It's not the ex-boyfriend, it's not the husband or the wife killing the husband. Like a lot of the cases, these are four strangers, and he mutilates them. It is horrific. And look at Madison Mogan, her autopsy report, fatal injuries, lacerations to the left lung and liver. Maddie only had sharp force injuries. The weapon was very sharp. Suspect used a lot of force. Joanna, you said earlier it's hard. You're not going to be able to put yourself in the position of the person that, if you want to call him a person, that did this. But just from a logistical standpoint, to pull this off, you have to be physically and mentally in a state of where adrenaline's running through your body, and there's got to be a factor of rage or something, because it's just he mutilated four individuals in a very short amount of time. It's horrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. Reading this is just as it shines this light and makes it very, very clear that there had to be something more to it.
Because he's painfully thin. He does look very, very thin in that one headshot of him. I think it might be a WSU, or maybe it's a DeSalle's headshot. He looks very thin. His eyes move too quickly, and the bags under them are dark and too prominent for someone his age. Yeah, because he doesn't sleep at night. I guess he only naps during the day. Ben also notices that Bryan never takes off his jacket, even in the August heat. By this description, with Bryan still being so thin as of August 2022, it makes me wonder.
Your motives are shallow. You are not profound. You're pathetic.
So an incel is a young man who has been rejected by women.
You aren't special or deep, not mysterious or exceptional.
All the popular girls were rejecting him and throwing things at him, bullying him.
But probably was a super triggering time for him.
I saw my old self in the mirror.
Now, Nick McLaughlin said that he was friends with him in high school and vocational school. Yeah, the vocational school, that one he got kicked out of. And he described Bryan as down to earth, but said he later became aggressive, especially when he lost weight. Sounds like he became hangry.
Even today, when I'm walking past a window and I see my reflection, a lot of times I still see that 400-pound self in that reflection.
But enough to trigger
that he's an incel, and that this was incel rage against women.
Watching every twitch of Bryan Kohberger's face.
Of rum and tequila and cocktails and the sweet sort of cherry lip gloss and all of that paraphernalia, right? But there's also someone else looking on from the outside, wishing, wanting, and realizing with each passing moment, minute, hour, day, month, and year, that they are not invited, that they are actually not part of this fun house. And over time, it sinks in. The flush of youth hasn't amounted to much life or much living.
Huh? Anyway, he always wanted to fight somebody. He was bullying people. We started cutting him off from our friend group because he was a 100% different person. You just saw him becoming more self-destructive. He really stayed secluded.
You work so hard to seem dangerous, but real control doesn't have to prove itself. The truth is, the scariest part about you is how painfully average you turned out to be. The truth is, you're as dumb as they come. Stupid, clumsy, slow, sloppy, weak, dirty. Let me be very clear. Don't ever try to convince yourself you mattered just because someone finally said your name out loud. I see through you.
You know, for example, we know that he has this obsessive compulsive attitude towards food, that he's not just vegan, but he doesn't want to have anything that has been in a pot or on a plate that has touched meat. And that tells me that he might be scared that he could actually engage in cannibalism after killing somebody.
That somehow he was able to get past his friends, his parents, of all things, his sister, and lead people to believe that he's just fine. Yet, according to him, he's really not in control at all. He's not there.
And I had no idea really who he was right at that second.
What if the most chilling part of the Bryan Kohberger case isn't the night of the murders, but everything that happened before? The lurking, the watching, the plotting. With the floodgates now open on hundreds of newly unsealed documents, a fuller picture is emerging, one that paints Kohberger not as a man who snapped, but as a patient predator who had been circling his target for weeks, maybe even months. We're talking about Kaylee Goncalvez saying she felt watched while walking her dog, a broken door hinge loose days before the murders, roommates hearing strange noises, glimpses of a shadowy figure near the house. Watching every twitch enough to trigger
I went through a phase where I would change my clothes 3 or 4 times before I would even leave the house because everything I put on, I thought made me look bigger.
Trauma. Twitch trigger.
He planned this forever. And did he do any other burglaries? We know he didn't do any other murders, but did he do any burglary type? What all did he do in preparation for this? You know, Ted Bundy was a prolific burglar, keeper, stalker, if you will. I call it surveillance type, before he ever committed his murder.
Yeah, bro. Check this out. Dude, it wasn't even me until I came up here. But now I'm here and I'm just doing it.
Is that dude who talks about, man, what is the time on that?
How does it feel to know the only thing you failed more miserably at than being a murderer was trying to be a rapper?
Now, Nick McLaughlin said that he was friends with him in high school and vocational school. Yeah, the vocational school, that one he got kicked out of. And he described Bryan as down to earth, but said he later became aggressive, especially when he lost weight. Sounds like he became hangry.
Slater, son. How's it going?
Fixing to be a lot better, man.
What time is your party tonight, man?
9:30, man.
9:30. Okay. I'll be there, man.
Slater.
Trauma. Twitch trigger. Trauma. Twitch trigger.